And most of leadership training is based on the assumption if people understand, they will do. There's a huge gap between understanding and doing. And in life, our problem isn't understanding, our problem is doing. I think most people understand what we want to do, we just don't do it. Well, what I love about what you're doing is it's practice and doing over and over and over again, and you're building in follow-up. If you look at all the research we did, our study leadership as a contact sport, 86,000 people. The results are clear. If you just go sit in a classroom and you don't go back, you don't do any follow-up, you don't do any practice, you don't get much better. On the other hand, if you talk to people, you follow up, you do practice, you get better. That's why I love what you're doing. I'm so impressed with what you've done over the last 10 years. What I'm really impressed about is, I said, you have a real focus on creating positive change, not just understanding theory. Creating real positive change that lasts over time. Almost no one does this. For example, if you go to almost any leading business school, they have all these programs to help people be better leaders. None of them actually do any follow-up or any research that show it works. They just sit in rooms, they listen to lectures, people leave, they may or may not do anything they discuss in the lectures. What I love about you is you're teaching people very practical tools that they can take back and use every day.
I took acting classes because I'd seen how much actors had developed the skills that so many leaders wish they had. I went to an Ivy League business school, and I came out and I still had to learn this stuff in the world. Meanwhile, these great actors, many of whom had dropped out of school, getting kicked out of school, they're tremendous at the skills that my school didn't even touch on.
Right. Well, the challenge in life is doing, so I love what you're doing because it's very focused on doing. It's practical. You're teaching people tools that they can remember and use. And I think you used the term muscle memory. It's like practice. You practice over and over and you get better and better. You mentioned the acting teacher. What was his name?
Stanislavski.
Yeah, I love that analogy of teaching people to practice. You know, you have to practice over and over and over again. And the great actor is not a great actor because they sit in a class. They actually have to go out and do it. Well, leadership is doing. You know, as I put my article, Leadership's Contact Sport, it's about doing. It's not about understanding theory, it's about actually practicing. So I love the concepts of what you're doing because they involve practical tools, take back, use, get better, and you can see the improvement.
I learned that if you give someone exercises that they can do, it's just like playing piano. If you do the scales a lot, you learn how to do it. If you don't, you don't.
Right.
And what I felt leaders needed, not all of them, but many, is a structure that they can put their passion and their efforts into, that if they do them, they will make progress.
Right.
And what I try to do is give people the ability that if you keep doing these exercises, you will learn. And you know, the first couple times they do them, just like, no, but however, the first time you do it, you're like, this is really hard, this is really annoying, what's the point?
It is hard.
And then somehow, you do it for a week, and somehow you start realizing, I think differently, I listen differently, people respond differently.
Right.
And then you keep doing it for months and years, and you start realizing there's whole levels of communication going on that you didn't realize were there.
Right.